What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the podcast. Jody Out Loud here with our special guest, Andrew Ace Greenspan, here at the podcast of Sober Friends of NY. We got Sammy B over here as well. What's going on, Andrew? How you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
We're so super stoked to have you here.
There was a story, right?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Because Andrew Ace Greenspan, and like, we'll just be completely clear here. Jody was like, Andrew, and struggled a bit. So What is this story? What is this story?
So the story behind the name Ace, Andrew Greenspan, is my legal name.
Okay.
I studied magic mentalism throughout my life, on and off. I got serious with it when I was struggling with my active addiction. And when I was doing magic, I came up with the name Ace.
Cool.
And when I was in detox, I didn't want to go by my legal name. So I went with Ace, not Andrew. And then once I started to get back into my music, put out my past album, I kept that in my stage name. So
nice.
Andrew
Cool.
Ace.
Part of your story.
Yeah, and it all it flows really well together, you know. So, Andrew, to be quite honest with you, Sammy told me and James, everybody, the team, about having you on. Super cool. Like, I really don't know much about you. I've seen a couple of videos. I know you're a musician as well, as being in recovery. So I don't know where we want to start, or if you want to tell me a little bit about, what do you want to start with?
I think it'd be cool to start with, like, when you picked up the first, early stages of your addiction, maybe a little bit about it if you want to get into it, and then, like, what brought you into recovery?
So it starts when I was younger. I was an avid skateboarder, and I injured my lower back with 2 stress fractures, not as the result of one particular incident, but over time, landing on my knees, the impact of ditching the board. So that led me to chronic pain, and I was put on a lot of different medications over the years, couldn't tolerate a lot of the things they were giving me, even anti-inflammatory, so I was put on opiates and other stuff, eventually medical marijuana. I was on over a dozen medications for over a decade long, consisting of all different kinds of controlled substances. I had a surgery in 2015 for a spinal cord stimulator device to help the pain I had in my back.
Did you have a remote for that? I'm just wondering.
I did.
Ask. It did, right? It's like an iPhone-looking thing.
Cool.
Sorry, I've seen them
Yes,
before,
it's
so
like
I wanted to
iPad.
know.
So they program you in the
Exactly.
office. They took it out that year in 2015 because I developed autonomic neuropathy. So I led back to pain management, and I ended up getting addicted to the things I was prescribed.
Mm-hmm.
And going into 2023, I had been prescribed more benzos than I should have had. I switched primary doctors from, I was seeing a pediatrician, good doctor who was good with people on the spectrum, and she had retired. I went back to my family primary doctor,
Okay.
who I don't blame for the situation, because I was the one when he asked, "Are you still on these medicines from when I saw him years ago?" I said yes, because I was struggling. So he prescribed me over 280 to 300 pills of Xanax,
Wow.
1 milligram within 2-month period.
2 months, that many?
Yeah, 2 orders of it. So I was at home struggling, snorting them around the clock, and eventually mixing with marijuana, alcohol, muscle relaxers, other opiates, and stuff. Eventually went to detox, and I spent all of 2023 from the summer into the fall in different detoxes. I was a very complicated case because I was coming off of all these different controlled things at once for a decade-long period of time.
Right.
And I eventually had an overdose in 2023 in August into September, and I wasn't supposed to recover from this. I was told I had a seizure at home. My dad found me unresponsive.
Wow.
And that I wasn't given Narcan by the paramedics, by the ambulance, by the ER. It was my brother-in-law who was the head pharmacist, one of the pharmacists at Nyack Hospital, found me in the trauma room and said, "Did you give him Narcan?" And they gave it to me once he said that, and I woke up.
Wow.
I woke up in kidney failure, and I wasn't breathing on my own. It was a lot of, I was
Now,
in the ICU.
So the overdose was opiates. Was it also like with Xanax as well, or is it just opiates too?
Opiates, benzos, muscle relaxers, and then nicotine, alcohol was involved, marijuana.
Wow.
So, and people say like the marijuana, it's out of your system in a few days, and then it's all in your head or whatever. And when I was in detox, they didn't know, like I was being tapered off of benzos and opiates onto a MAT program. And the marijuana was just cold turkey, and I was using it for all those years. And today the THC content is so high, as you guys know. So
Right.
it's scary because if there was more understanding, maybe I could have gotten through my first detox better. I was there for 30 days in Florida, and it was a good program, but I was like paralyzed, feeling like I couldn't get out of the bedroom, and it was terrible. So I kept coming home, relapsing, going to a different program until I had a life-threatening overdose. So I come out of that into a nursing home because I wasn't walking after the situation, and then I'm home and I relapse one more time, even harder, and I end up going to my final detox out of 2020, end of 2023 into 2024 at Nyack Hospital, and I only lasted a few days there before I ended up in the cardiac unit because I was starting to have cardiac problems. So I spent time in that unit and then into the main hospital of Nyack, which eventually transferred me to another nursing home because I wasn't mobile and I wasn't walking again. So I never went to a full rehab because of the situation. When I went to the second nursing home, that's when my recovery started physically. And when I got out of there, I decided I wanted to join a drug recovery. So that's how the process started.
So when did you clean? August of 2023 or September?
I'll be 2 years in May.
In May.
Awesome.
That's amazing.
Hold on, we got to do
Yep.
one of these.
Let's clap to that one. Woohoo! We got issues over here. We like to have fun.
Keep going.
Oh, we need that. We need
We
that
did.
one. It deserves an applause.
It definitely does.
That's awesome.
But there's like two other things that happened into when I got out of the nursing home. I experimented with two different treatments because I was still depressed, not sure how to get through what I was going through. I was always relying on a pill, a puff, or drink.
Something, yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't know how to get by. And I had been on all these psychological medications for depression, ADHD, insomnia, high-functioning autism, and other stuff. So I tried to do Spravato, nasal spray ketamine.
Okay.
Oh, see, no, I have not heard about that.
Really?
I have heard about this. We've heard about this. It just, I mean, I know I have. It's just I have no experience in it, obviously.
So Spravato ketamine is a drug-assisted, you go into the doctor's office.
Microdosing, I'm guessing the way it is.
Microdosing. I'm not a fan of it because I only did it for 4 weeks, and I felt like I was getting high in the office, even though it was so microdosing. It felt wrong to me for someone who's trying to recover.
Okay.
But I can tell you it did a huge deal to my recovery and why I'm sitting here today.
Okay.
And I recommend it for someone who is at like, has tried everything medication-wise, like every medication. I have been on every class of everything, just was going nowhere. I would not recommend this for like a first resort or if you have a drug problem. So I'm trying to be clear about that. But for me, it brought me out of a very dark time.
Mental health wise,
Mental health, yeah.
You would suggest it. Okay.
Right.
Because people do use it as a form of like a pathway, recovery pathway, but
Right.
it's also used for mental health. So
Right.
you would say that it helped you in that sense.
Correct.
Now, is that something you're supposed to be on forever? Like, I know MATs are not supposed to be, but people tend to. So is that something you got off in 4 weeks because you were just ready, or is it a short, like that it's only supposed to be used for a short period of time?
No, I got off of it because of side effects, and I thought it was wrong for my recovery.
Okay.
So I'm very sensitive to medicine, which is why I didn't have luck with everything in my life medicine-wise. So this did a good amount of depression relieving and focus, like it centered my, like what I want to do in life again. And, but I did it for 4 weeks, a couple times a week. And after that, I was still struggling, not knowing like what I could do to keep me grounded. The last kind of treatment I ever did for mental health was TMS, which is brain stimulation. They stick a magnet, and you sit there in a chair, and like they try to program where like what's contributing to your ADHD. It can help addiction too.
Wow.
And
I've never heard of these things.
I'm not saying it's an answer for everyone. It's a last resort treatment too, but it was covered by my insurance, and I took a chance. Because of that treatment, I live with daily chronic migraines.
Wow.
But I am grateful for it because it's made me laser focused. My ADHD is like a lot better, and I've just been on a path of wellness since that.
Awesome.
So in 2024, when I got out of that last nursing home in March, I started writing my recent recovery album from 2025, Livin Rough, Hangin Tough.
Yeah.
And
We've heard that one.
Yeah. I spent
Cool.
8 months in my studio recording and writing that, and eventually getting out there into different communities, performing it, trying to tell people that you can still live rough, still hang tough, and overcome while you're struggling and learn to be happy.
What has making the music, writing
Oh.
the music done for you? Because I feel like I know,
okay.
because I could speak to that. But
I understand now.
Yeah.
I cannot. I listen to music and like that's my thing, but I'm not creative. I can juggle. I can't do music though.
So,
She could
About-
juggle.
I can juggle.
so the title track, Livin Rough, Hangin Tough, it's about learning to be your best friend again. And like I said before, you don't need to rely on a pill, a puff, or drink to be happy.
Mm-hmm.
And what that does for me is it's kind of like my own recovery program in a way. It gives me that uplifting feeling and that energy drive, knowing that this song is going to help this person struggling out there. If it helps one person in the room at a bar or whatever the situation is, that's a reward for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's like being a sponsor in a way, but with my own
Mhm.
song. So that's what it does for me.
Yeah, and I love that.
Yeah.
I
And just so you
understand.
guys know, Andrew is going to be performing his
Yes.
song at the end of the podcast.
Yes, definitely stay tuned for that
Yeah, I
because
can't
we're
wait.
super excited to hear you do that. That's gonna be fun.
It is.
It's gonna be fun.
I would like to hear the other one too that you did at
Which
the
one?
nursing home, the video I saw. Well,
Sure. Sound check.
Yeah. That's behind the scenes footage. But yeah, no, that's awesome. And I asked that because I kind of, I know the answer. It's an outlet for us. And wow, is it a powerful one. I'm so grateful that I feel so deeply and that I'm able to use that as a means for coping and for, navigating what we go through. Definitely. So,
yeah.
you said that you're on the spectrum. So I feel like a good question to ask would be, how does that go hand in hand? How has that worked hand in hand with, like everything? I'd imagine it, it affects your life as a whole. This is who you are. When did you find out you were on the spectrum?
When I was 18.
Okay. Wow.
Wow.
So it was late in life, and that's kind of what. So I mentioned the back fractures when I was younger, and then that created the chronic pain. But then when I was diagnosed with autism at age 18, we noticed I was struggling in school. I was always getting A's and B's for the most part, but I was in self-contained classes. I had like a teacher's assistant,
Mhm.
so that helped me. But
Like an IEP and stuff.
correct.
Okay.
And I had started to receive more bullying into high school and then didn't deal with it. I got depressed, and then my parents took me to New York City to get tested at a place called Spectrum Neuroscience.
Wow.
And they showed that they called it Asperger's at the time, but now they just say high functioning autism.
Okay.
So I was put on a lot of benzos and psychotropic medications before benzos were used for anxiety. Now, this was like 2010, 11, 12. So now, that's not a first treatment at all.
Yeah. Right.
So
Yeah, I've never heard of benzos being
For
prescribed for.
autism.
No, I've
That's
never heard
for
that.
anxiety, sleep issues,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
it was nothing to get a script for that at that time.
Yeah.
This is like 12 years later.
Which
16 years
I
later.
thought I'm not a big benzo person, even though I'm in recovery, that was just not one of my things. And I thought benzos were prescribed is like if you're having a panic attack, you take that. Like at that moment, it's like a PRN.
Right.
And you had how many prescribed in 1 month?
Over
Nearly
280 to
300.
300 something.
Yeah, that's
I'm so
insane.
confused.
Because if you think
like,
about it, it's like 1 milligram every however many hours, 3 or 4 times a day.
that's so crazy. It's so much.
Thankfully, I feel like Xanax it's become such a big thing where I feel like they try to avoid that even when it comes to anxiety. So thankfully, I hope, that's what's happening, because I hear that that's even harder to get off of than
Seizures are really bad. I've seen.
than a lot of things I hear.
Right.
And I'm like, I hear, but I was on so many different drugs. That's why I can't pinpoint like, hey, these are the effects that I felt from withdrawing off of this particularly. I have no idea. I just felt it all. But I have heard benzos is really, really rough.
They say that, well, I don't know what truly caused my overdose. On paper, it says that it was an interaction of me taking a methadone when my last detox before the overdose, I had been tapering on Suboxone.
Okay.
I was on methadone for 12 years
Okay.
Wow.
and other opiates. But the last thing I was on opiate-wise was Suboxone. And I don't know if I was still on benzos, but I was on a psychotropic change. I had a recent psych hospitalization that year, which adjusted meds. So I came home from that one detox going into the end of August in 2023, and it was a medication roller coaster while I was detoxing. And I had taken a methadone at home because I was in so much pain. And they say that caused a fatal interaction because you can't take methadone and Suboxone together. That's why at detox, they wait 72 hours before crisscrossing. So...
Is that because it puts you into
precipitated.
precipitated withdrawals?
Right.
I would never even. I didn't even. You're like teaching me stuff about drugs and.
And we like are in the field.
Right. Yeah. I work in the field and.
We're like, wow, tell us more.
It's crazy too because like when you have people in detox, they're putting you on Valiums and tapering you off to come off the same drugs. It's so bizarre to me, but I kind of get it because like I said, it tapers off.
The other thing too is like when I was going through, like when I had my initial overdose in September of 2023, and then I was in the ICU after that in the main hospital, I was being given IV Ativan or whatever the benzo was. I'm pretty sure it was Ativan to help with just whatever was going on. But I had been tapered off of the benzos all summer from what I went through. So now it's my withdrawals going back and forth.
Yeah.
So I'm told I'm still getting over post-acute almost 2 years later.
Wow.
Just some symptoms. I still have sleep issues. I just try to keep the best schedule I can. Don't always stick up to it, but I try my best. And but I managed today without any prescription medication.
Wow.
Yeah.
You wanted to get off everything?
Yeah, I was determined I eat gluten-free, dairy-free, and exercise, go to PT twice a week.
Nice.
Okay. So your goal was to get off of absolutely everything? Even
to minimize what I didn't need. And then,
right.
I mean, I was never on medicine before. I'm not saying, again, I'm putting a disclaimer that I'm not saying to get off medication if you're hitting the road I hit, but I had tried everything for so many years, over a decade, and it only seemed to decrease my quality of life. And I thought the medication was the problem for me. So I believe medication helps many people. I think it's necessary, but that's just my situation. And I very well may need it in the near future. I'm sure I will. Everyone does. But right now I'm trying. The other thing is, I could be on something for pain that maybe is not an opiate that helps me, but I try to manage it because I'm here doing 3 sets or longer of covers and songs multiple times a week in different places, and I need to remember those lyrics. I don't read from an iPad. A lot of people perform today. They might look at iPads in bars and stuff. I don't think it's a problem. I think it depends on what your mission is. They're just cover bands, but I'm an original artist,
Right.
and I want to entertain. So that's my perspective, and that's why I need to be cognitive.
So what is your dream place to perform at?
Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it is.
That is,
I understand
yep.
this. I love
That would
it.
be amazing if you go. Let us know so we can go and support you.
VIP backstage.
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
of course. What?
Who would you have open for you?
Sammy B.
Hey!
Get the house going with
Can I juggle
DJ.
at least there or
Yeah.
something on stage? I
Yeah,
can
sure,
juggle.
sure.
Okay.
I'm sure we can make that arrangement.
I'm so done. But no, I you know, it's so funny. I think probably being a New Yorker, it's like, I would imagine all across, maybe even the world, like MSG is such a big thing, but I have so many times in just like meditation or whatever, like close my eyes and I could picture myself on that stage, you know, and I close my eyes and I could just see a sea of like darkness, but phone lights. And, you know, and it's just that moment and it feels so real and so awesome. Yeah. So I completely.
You have to manifest it.
Completely agree. Like, I get that, you know, whatever it is that I'm doing on that stage, it doesn't even matter. The moment that happens and comes to fruition, I will be like, yeah, I did that. I did that. You know, that's a cool thing. That was a great question because you just got me so hyped.
Well, it's because, like, you know, I've been to a lot of concerts at MSG, and whoever is performing, they're always like, you know, when I was a kid, I dreamed of this.
Yeah, of course.
Well, I mean, I didn't know he was going to say MSG, but now you got me going and thinking that too, though. But yeah, no,
Oh,
you're
for
right. I believe
sure.
everybody, artist-wise, wants to perform at MSG.
Yeah.
It's definitely on their bucket list.
If you don't know what MSG means, that means Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
Yes.
NYC.
Where the New York Knicks play. That's right.
Yeah, the Knickerbockers.
Yes. I
Yeah.
haven't heard that in so long.
Yeah.
Which is connected to Penn Station. So if you really want to know.
Yeah, hop on a train and get there. We got a discount ticket for you. So I want to know too, right? Like, how long have you been doing music for? Like, making music?
I've been playing piano since I was 4 years old.
Wow.
So
That's-
about 29 years. Is that the right math?
I don't know.
I'm 34.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know how old you were.
Close,
Yeah, 30,
close.
30 years, something like
So-
that. Close.
30 years.
Yeah, something
It
like
went up.
Cool. And what about writing?
Okay. Writing kind of like evolved. As I was young, I was classically trained for 13 years. I still can't read sheet music.
Yeah, me neither.
So I was born with perfect pitch, and I could just pick up a song in a few seconds, and I know chords, progressions, theory, things like that. But yeah, sight reading, I still struggle. I envy people who can because there's a little more stable jobs out there for that. But everyone learns differently.
Yeah, absolutely. We really do all learn differently.
Yeah, I couldn't even look at one of those. I wouldn't be a different language. I'm not very musically inclined like that. I love music, and it's how I think I get through life. But I wish I could play the instrument. I had a triangle a few years ago.
Nice. Triangle.
Yeah.
Nice.
You got James laughing. Yeah. I used to be able to read sheet music. I took percussion in like school or whatever in the band and stuff like that. Eventually I grew out of that because partying was just, I was not about to be in the band. You know what I mean? I was cool. Okay. But the reason I ask that is because, well, you play guitar as well, right?
I do.
Oh, nice.
When did you learn that?
Guitar I picked up over the years. Not my best instrument. Piano
I was just
and
going to ask
singing
you,
is
so
my main thing.
piano is your main, right?
That's why I didn't bring the guitar. I was gonna. It's obviously
I'm
easier,
sure you're
but
amazing at guitar, but continue.
I can play I've definitely improved, but I don't feel comfortable knowing where I am like in a live setting. If I did it more, I mean, I played my one song, "Hope to See You Again," which is the last track on my album, on earlier shows of 2025 after the album came out. But I decided to not go with it, especially since I'm doing mostly covers these days, and I'll add in an original here or
Yes.
What's your favorite cover?
there. Not what you're thinking. Well, actually, it is the one that you
The-
mentioned.
Oh, that's a cover?
It's a cover. It's Elton John. The
Oh
Bitch
my
is
God.
Back.
I did not know that. That's all like you said
That's a
Billy
cover.
Joel, and
That's your
I didn't
favorite?
even know
That's
that.
Elton John. It's not my favorite, but I would say it's a really energetic, bluesy tune. I love Elton John, Billy Joel. They are my wheelhouse.
Billy Joel was
My
my
biggest-
definitely. I loved him.
My biggest inspirations.
Nice.
And Mozart was my first as a kid. I grew
Wow.
up with classical, Beethoven.
So you can play that on the piano and stuff. That's amazing.
Not as well as I used to, but a little bit.
I'm sure I would not be able to tell the difference if you. It'd be just as good.
Yeah.
And then Imagine Dragons.
Oh, I
That-
want to see them in concert. Just wanted to say that they're amazing.
I've seen them when they come to town as often as I can. I put out a cover of Radioactive
Really?
in 2013, playing all the instruments in my older studio. And I got in touch with Mac Reynolds, who is Dan Reynolds' brother, the lead singer.
Hmm.
And ever since then, I've had a close relationship by email with him. And he was very, very kind to issue me tickets when they're in town. So I'm very grateful for that. They've been a huge inspiration for my music writing lyrically and how I build progressions and breakdowns and things like that. So my music is like Elton John, Billy Joel had a baby with Imagine Dragons because it's blending different kinds of positive affirmation lyrics with bluesy pop rock piano style.
Okay.
How would you say that your music has evolved pre-recovery
That's a good one.
and in recovery?
That is a good question. I don't think anyone's asked me that. I would say, so when I was struggling in like 2010, I was in a really, really good rock band called Crash Out. Everyone was older than me except the lead singer. I was not singing. I was just on keys. And we were playing in different nightclubs in the city, and we stood out. But I started to get involved in my own solo project. And that the people in that band went away to college. I was in a punk band, and I liked the music, but I was so invested in what I was going through emotionally that I got taken away from it, like in a dark place. So I wrote a very, very dark, my mom calls like an operetta. It's very Queen, like emo, you could say. Ballad, piano, scary music, like very vile, explicit lyrics about what I was going through. A lot about self-harm, things like that. I went through a lot of suicide attempts in my life. And so it was a lot about that.
Yeah.
And the music is probably some of the best music I've ever written. And I might do something with it one day, maybe a Halloween, and rewrite the lyrics. But that evolved from that kind of music. I never knew how to write happy music by myself. And then going into recovery, before recovery, actually, I wrote an album when I was living in Vermont at a mental health kind of wilderness program.
Nice.
And I wrote all these different songs. Actually, a couple of them are going to be on my next album. And so that's when the positive music started. And then going into my recovery, it just got even more brighter, more upbeat. It was still lagging in my past, but definitely as I grew and I evolved, I went from darkness to light.
Yeah. I can relate to
When does your next album come out? You can't say it now.
We have to turn off. I'm just kidding.
But-
Well, I released a new single in February called Beautiful. That came out. It was a love song for Valentine's Day
Nice.
for all the couples out there. And it wasn't about someone in particular. It was someone I wanted to find. And so,
Manifesting.
yes. So that just came out. And then I have another song, which is a bluesy pop rock song about what it's like to live in my new apartment in the Hudson.
Cool.
And that's going to be coming out in May is my plan.
Okay. And
So
where can people buy the album that you already have out to hang in? What's it? How do you?
Livin Rough, Hangin Tough.
Yes, I don't know why I can't say
You
that.
can get it on Spotify, Apple Music. You can listen to it on YouTube. I would love it if you would support and buy it, but honestly, it's out there if you want to listen to it. The lyric videos are out there.
How can you
On
buy
YouTube.
it? Bandcamp or
Apple Music, Spotify.
Gotcha.
If you come to a show, we have CDs, vinyls. If you go to my website, you'll find all of my upcoming shows in the upcoming shows tab, or if you follow on social media at Andrew Ace Greenspan, you'll see the show schedule pinned to the grid as well.
Okay. And now do you usually always perform by yourself?
Solo.
Yeah.
I mean,
'Cause
to be
we're
honest with
wrapping
you,
up.
I've been sitting here just like
Yeah,
just listening and all, like
Awesome.
my mind,
Yeah.
amazing. I think you're amazing.
Well, now thank you. I wanted to reach out because I want to share this message to anyone watching who is struggling, and they can see that, this person's been through this and I'm going through that. That sounds just like me, or I can
Right.
relate, and maybe someone else will be interested in recovery, or if they're already in recovery, they'll be able to feel a little better about
Right.
the look on it.
Yeah, and this is why we do this stuff, just
Right.
trying to help somebody.
Absolutely.
Right.
And maybe it'll even inspire people to maybe put the pen to paper or pencil
Right.
and get some of what's going on, because that's what we do as musicians and artists just in general. Whatever the medium is, it's about taking us from that dark place and evolving as a human. And like it's almost like that's kind of how it goes. Like we get it out there and eventually it's like we go from that darkness to the light, and we're able to share our pain with people, but then we're able to share what it feels like to overcome, what it feels like to be positive and like live the way that we live today.
Right.
So it's a beautiful thing.
I don't wanna-
Congratulations.
Thank you. I don't want to dodge your question about the album. I was talking about the singles because they just
Okay.
are what's going on now. But I am planning the album. I was thinking the fall, but it's probably not as happening as I would like it to do with the show schedule. So probably early next year is my plan.
Well, I'm sure we're going to stay in touch after this. And it's crazy because you knew a few people that I know and
Yeah.
down around where you live, and it's a small world.
Yeah, definitely.
We will hopefully see you maybe one Friday that you don't have a show and you want to come up. We have sober circles from 7 to 8. It's open to the public, and it's a cool little gathering there.
It is.
It's intimate. We talk about our recovery and stuff. And then also we would love to have you at our fundraiser. We're going to be having that probably end of May,
Okay.
but we'll be in touch
Okay.
because, we want as many people out there, and we would love to have you. And maybe we'll have you back on the podcast again.
Right.
Awesome. I would love that.
We are going to get into a song. We have to.
Yes.
So your treat and our treat.
Thank you, Andrew. It's
Thank
been
you.
amazing.
Thank you so
It's been a
much.
pleasure.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah,
No problem.
it has definitely been a pleasure. So we are going to cut now to Andrew Ace Greenspan.
Can I say one more thing?
Yeah,
No.
absolutely.
I'm just kidding.
She always
I
does.
do.
I want to say that it doesn't make you weak to seek help, and seeking help only makes you stronger because the people that are around you want to see you succeed, and you're helping the people that are around you by doing that, by getting help. And just think of how many people want to see you be happy, and I think that that's something that really affected my recovery, because there was all these people around me who were sad all the time, and they knew I had so much potential.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think you should ever let that go blindsided from you. And there's so much support out there.
Yeah.
Places like this and other places. I'm in Marijuana Anonymous. I haven't been to the meetings as much as I should have been. I definitely try to go on my anniversaries.
Mm-hmm.
But that was the program I really connected with. And I just hope that if you're struggling, this helps you. This is called Livin Rough, Hangin Tough.
Falling behind, losing my ground, dropping the ball. I once had it all. My dreams took a pause. I was out of line, but I'm back in the groove. One day at a time, now I'm rising above, making amends, carving a path that won't be condemned. This friction feels good inside my skin. I hope the Lord shines down and clears my sins. I've been living rough. I've been living rough, but I'm hanging tough, hanging tough. I can feel again. I can be my best friend to the bitter end. I hope this never ends. I've danced with the devil to every heart-wrenching tune. I was such a rebel, I'm forced to live with the wounds, but I still carry on when it gets hard to breathe, 'cause I wasn't meant for misery. I've been living living rough. I've been living rough, but I'm hanging tough. Hanging tough. I can feel again. I can be my best friend to the bitter end. I hope this never ends. I've been living rough, but I'm hanging tough. Oh, oh, oh. I've been living rough, hanging tough. Oh, oh, oh. The weight of the wind tries to knock me over, howling every day as I keep growing older. This pressure might stay, so I'm destined to sway, but I'm holding on for a better day. I've been living rough, but I'm hanging tough. Oh, oh, oh. I've been living rough, but I'm hanging tough. Oh, oh, oh. I've been living rough. I've been living rough, but I'm hanging tough. Hanging tough. I can feel again. I can be my best friend to the bitter end. I hope this never ends. Thank you. You can listen to Livin Rough, Hangin Tough on all social digital distributors. Thank you.